Marvel fans, we've got some crazy news because not only is Avengers Doomsday already breaking records at the box office, but Kevin Feige himself gave us some major updates on the new X-Men film, how the MCU reboot is going to work after Avengers Secret Wars, plus news about the Blade movie, Black Panther 3, and so much more. Let's get into it all. And let's start off with the records Avengers Doomsday is already breaking because yes, this trailer has already passed 500 million views in its first 24 hours, making it the biggest Disney trailer ever and the second biggest trailer of all time behind Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is obviously a Sony movie technically. And obviously, in addition to the trailer releasing yesterday, they also put the tickets for sale for the movie, and it already became the biggest first 24-hour ticket sales for a movie since 2020. And for some more context about just how crazy these box office numbers are, Avengers Doomsday sold more tickets in its first 2 hours than the Fantastic Four First Steps did in its entire first month of having ticket sales live. It's really crazy that there's a portion of the internet out there that wants you to believe that Avengers Doomsday is gonna flop, the MCU is dead, and while that might be true for some of the smaller movies now, the fact that Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.4 billion, I'm pretty confident that Avengers Doomsday is going to easily make it to $2 billion as long as it's not like complete garbage. Even if it's like a mediocre film, this is like a guaranteed $2 billion. Now let's move on from the Avengers Doomsday records onto the future of the MCU because Kevin Feige gave us a ton of new details in these past few days. First of all, he talked about Marvel Studios being at San Diego Comic-Con happening next week, and he says when we go to Hall H, it's for a reason. It's to have some surprises and show a few things. It's our home away from home, Hall H, so I'm very excited to be heading back. Now you might be wondering what's the big deal about this. Well, everybody was assuming that the big news happening at San Diego Comic-Con was going to be the Avengers Doomsday trailer dropping online. This is obviously the biggest thing Marvel has on their plate right now, and why not drop it at San Diego Comic-Con? They did similar things for like Infinity War and stuff, but no, they already dropped this online the week before San Diego Comic-Con, so we're going to be getting some brand new announcements next week. First of all, I think this is going to have to do with the X-Men. Like, we already know that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's all but confirmed, but I think they're going to announce the cast for the rest of the X-Men reboot film. Like, we already know Jake Schreier, the director who did Thunderbolts, is working on this new X-Men film. It's likely going to come out in 2027, maybe 2028, right after Avengers Secret Wars. I think they could definitely capitalize on the hype and eyes on Marvel right now because of Doomsday and make this huge announcement. Maybe they leave out Jean Grey and they'll just be like, oh, you'll find out who's playing Jean very soon, but they could definitely announce like the new Beast and Cyclops and stuff like that. I also think it's very likely that they do release a new movie that's going to release in between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, maybe something they've been secretly filming or that starts filming in a few weeks here, because obviously it's very weird that Marvel has nothing between December of 2026 with Doomsday this year and then December next year, especially when you consider the fact that between Infinity War and Endgame, they released Ant-Man and the Wasp, which made $600 million at the box office. That definitely got a boost because of the Avengers hype, and then Captain Marvel released in between those two Avengers film, and that made $1 billion at the box office. That was purely almost off of the hype of Infinity War and Endgame and people feeling like, oh, I need to watch this movie to understand who this character is when she shows up in Endgame. I really can't see them not taking advantage of this huge period in between these two Avengers movies to get people hype. I would obviously love it to be someone like Blade. I don't think that's very likely based off what Kevin Feige said about the character. I'll get to that in a second. I do think it's very likely that maybe it's someone like a Ghost Rider or something. Maybe they show up in Avengers Doomsday towards the end of the film or in a post-credit scene like Captain Marvel, and then they're like, hey, if you want to see more of Ghost Rider, you can go see the solo Ghost Rider movie in between these two Avengers films. Or maybe they do the Midnight Suns that has like Ghost Rider, Blade, Doctor Strange. That would be insane. We got a whole lot more news from Kevin Feige, but first drop a like on this video. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel a ton, and let me know in the comments down below what movie you think they should release in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Moving on, Kevin Feige said that he feels like a gigantic loser and failure for Blade not happening in the MCU, and he really regretted that they couldn't get this movie off the ground. I'm not joking, this was from a real interview. I watched the video of it, and honestly, this seems like a death sentence for this character getting a solo movie, at least, again, unless he's trying to throw people off of an announcement coming at San Diego Comic-Con. Definitely possible that Kevin Feige's just trying to toy with us, but I think this movie's pretty much dead. It's been in development for like 7 years. I don't think Mahershala Ali is just going to be waiting around forever for this movie. Maybe we'll get a new Blade film one day, but probably not for like 10 years. However, when he was asked about Black Panther 3, if it could start filming next year, he just simply said, maybe. I definitely think this is going to be a 2028 release after Avengers Secret Wars. Whether that's going to be with a new Black Panther actor we maybe get in Secret Wars with this possible like soft reboot, which again, I will get to in a second. And actually, let's just get to it right now because he was simply asked about if the MCU is going to have a full reboot, because that's kind of what he said in a a quote a few years ago, and he said no, he doesn't see the MCU having a full reboot after Avengers Secret Wars. He says in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars comic from 10 years ago, there's a nice roadmap to where we can go, which I think simply means what we've kind of been assuming that people just misinterpreted is that yes, it's going to be a very soft reboot. It's not going to start over any timeline. I keep seeing people say that we're going to get like a rebooted cast for like the original Avengers, a new Cap, Iron Man, Hulk. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think it's simply just going to be closing down the multiverse and putting everything they want in one universe, which is likely going to mean like putting the Fantastic Four in the main MCU timeline, probably getting rid of the Fox X-Men universe, Tobey and Andrew Spider-Man universes for good, having things like the mutants introduced into this timeline, maybe the Young Avengers finally get their big start, but I don't think we're going to be starting over. Maybe they're going to just try to make it cleaner for new viewers to jump in after Secret Wars if they want though. Now, a lot of people missed a crazy detail in the Avengers Doomsday trailer revealing that Steve Rogers might be evil and what character is actually going to die in the movie. If you want to hear all about that, click the video above my head right now, and thank you for watching.